All right. It says we are live. I hope we are live. Welcome, everybody, to another live stream. I believe what is tonight? Monday night? So welcome to another Well-Don Tanks live stream. I apologize for my tardiness getting here. It was kind of I've been burning the candle at both ends lately and fell asleep on the couch. So after falling asleep on the couch, getting kind of the family set up, I had to run down here and get everybody, got to get everything set up, get things going. Hopefully we get some people in here because I think right now we got 0 people watching, but that's all right. Things happen. Let's send out a notification. Yeah, hopefully the notifications went out. So I guess we'll give it a couple minutes, I guess. Kind of see who we get in here. So I'm just going to be talking to myself, and I can do that all night long, but sometimes I enjoy the interaction with other people as we're kind of checking around the fish room right now, just kind of seeing everything going on. I'm geeking out. The other Tiffany, I am here. Well, thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you being here. At least that tells me that hopefully the audio is working. Hopefully everything's working. And that should tell me that it's working. So, yeah, welcome to the live stream. Kind of busy getting here. I know I was kind of I don't want to say last minute live stream, but I kind of forgot about it. Well, I didn't forget about it, but with my work schedule, I always have to think about when I'm going to stream next. What's my next available day? What's my next available night? So it works out really well for me just to stream at 7 because then I can kind of, take care of my family afterwards, get my daughter put to bed, and then, get everything going from there. All right, we got some people rolling in now. I appreciate it. Because you're fish, how's it going for you? I need to message you after the stream, sir. I know we were talking Sunday. That should still work for me. But I just want to follow up with you. And Carrie, thank you so much for being here. You are great to always be here supporting me on this. So very grateful for everyone to be here. It looks like we got a few people rolling in. So, yeah, where are we at? What's going on in the fish room tonight? So the dollar per gallon Petco sale started today. At least it did in my area. And I believe it started in most people's areas because I know I've seen a few Instagram posts, different things like that, people taking advantage of that. So I am adding 7 additional tanks to the fish room this weekend. That's the goal. I got this coming weekend off of work, kind of be my rest and recuperation period, but also we're going to crank some things out in the fish room because the ball is rolling. Things are starting to happen. So I came down tonight. When I got off work this afternoon, I came down to the fish room, feed the fish, kind of checking everything. And we got another fry drop. So this time it's from my Blue Star Endlers. Let me see. Hopefully I don't break anything. I think the cord's long enough. Let me see if I can kind of rotate you around here. I've never done this before, actually, so we're going to try something here. So I don't expect the camera to pick up quality or anything, but this is my Blue Star Endler tank. And, of course, the one male that I want you guys to see, you can kind of see him cruising on the back of the tank there. He's got a really awesome double sword. It's beautiful, actually. And I've got another, so I've got 2 females, 2 males. There's a good shot for it. It's something we're working on back there. One of the males has a double sword, and it is incredible at how that actually works for him. And then another one just has a single bottom sword. But either way, they're gorgeous fish, absolutely beautiful fish. So we got a good fry drop out of them. My guppies are gravid, so I'm expecting fry from them any day now. And then my other swordtail, my other female swordtail, she looks like she's gravid. And I've already got a tank of over 100 fry. So things are moving along in the fish room. So we are definitely going to need those 7 additional tanks as I have, let's see, more fish coming in from Aquabid, fish coming in from Dan's Fish. I have fish coming in from Wild Fish Tanks. And I'm just about bid on more fish on Aquabid today. So I got to make some room. The Zen Ginger, thanks for being here. I appreciate the support, as always, from everybody. So, yeah, things are moving in the fish room. And I know here I am. Man, I messed with the camera once, and I can never find that perfect spot again. But so I've decided what we're going to do, and I talked a little bit about this, I think, in the last live stream, is Sharon, good to see you. I appreciate you being here, is where we're actually streaming right now is – it works. I love it. And the reason I like this is I have I have a second computer monitor that I run to my laptop. That way it kind of allows me to keep my head up a little more. Like the camera, I've noticed in my streams, I have a really hard time like making direct eye contact with the camera because it's kind of offset. The screen's here, and I have a little portable table with the microphone, the laptop. So I kind of have everything all hunched in here. But it's this back wall is perfect for what we did back here. Absolutely perfect. So I'm going to use this same system I bought from Home Depot. I'm going to set it on this back wall, and I'm going to have two 20-gallon longs on that one. The sword tails are going to move down, and then I'm going to add, that's where my fry system is going to be. So the tank behind me was going to be the fry system. We'll talk about that here in a minute, my plans for this tank. And then I'm going to add more 10 gallons up on the first Husky rack, and then more. Then we're going to fill out this DIY rack here with another more gallons. So we're adding 6 10-gallon tanks and one more 20-gallon tank. So Carrie, I technically am getting more 20-gallon tanks. I purchased one more 20 long, but I'm not going to be adding any more 20 high. So right up here in this top corner, I have two 20 talls, or the regular 20s. My discus are in one of them, and the other one is reserved for some angelfish that the waterfront is bringing in for me this week, actually. So really looking forward to getting them. Zen Ginger, I appreciate the support. Psst, some of y'all forgot the like. Appreciate that very much. I really do. So yeah, we're adding into this. It was a kind of a difficult decision if I wanted to add more tanks on this back wall, because I do like having this computer monitor up. It allows me, because I pull up the chat, I kind of pull up the stream. So it allows me to work more flexible than I'm looking down at my laptop. But we'll see where we go from this, because as my basement's getting finished, we are adding kind of a desk office area. And I've thought about doing my live streams from there. But I do enjoy being in the fish room because it allows me to kind of point to things, like this tank back here, like this is what this tank is, and it's kind of able to rotate the camera a little bit and show some fish off. So the option 2 is I could still maintain a portable setup. That's kind of bring my little table in, set it up. We may just run the chat off the laptop. I just won't have this second screen. It would still allow us to be in the fish room. Excuse me. But something so the next couple streams, it may kind of be bouncing around. I may be trying to figure out what I'm doing here. I am thinking in the next couple weeks of doing a live stream of a fish room tour. So Peter with Guppy Guru actually was over here the other night and filmed the entire fish room. So that was the first time that the fish room has actually been filmed in its entirety, where we're at now. But since I am adding tanks, it'll just be kind of another good update. So Peter's got one coming out. It's kind of fun. I gave him the first exclusive access to the fish room to really come down and film everything we got going on. But I thought about doing just a mobile live stream that I can walk around with my phone, show tanks, answer questions, kind of have some things going on. So we'll see. We'll see where things are coming about. But I am excited to get more tanks in here because it's just going to allow me to have more room. Like the swordtails, they dropped over 100 fry. And I got all of them in a 10-gallon tank. They're going to grow out there. They eventually, I may have to separate them out as they're growing to get to that sellable size, which I'm going to need more 10-gallon tanks for. I'm definitely going to need more room for. Sharon says, I love the octopus plant in the tank behind that you won't tell what the fish are. I love the Pogostemon stellatus octopus, one of my favorite plants. This crypt right here, I got an interesting video coming out about this. I'll tell you this much, Sharon. They're an African cichlid. That's what I'll say. I'll say that much. Carrie, I appreciate the support very, very much. That is very generous of you. Helping with an aquarium purchase. Thank you for all you do. I learned a lot from you. Well, I appreciate that. I really do, because it was that you actually just from that you just that purchased one of the 10-gallon tanks there, right? So I really do appreciate that. But and I hope somebody somewhere learned something from me, because I'm just a guy sitting in this fish room just sharing his passion. I really am. But that's why I started my channel over 2 years ago now. And the initial start was horrendous. Like if you go back and watch my original videos, my gosh. But we all have to learn somewhere. But I always enjoy I enjoy sharing, because my viewpoint is anybody can do it, but it's never going to be the same fish room. So my fish room, Michael Bader Aquatic Setup, Peter Guppy Guru Setup, Aquarium Co-op, Dean, Randy, like there's Wild Fish Tanks, Fish Room Fever. Like I can list off so many individuals. All of our setups are different because it just meets our needs. Yes, I've taken a lot of ideas from Dean, Randy, Aquarium Co-op, Wild Fish Tanks, Guppy Guru. Like you can see things that I've done in here. Like, okay, like, yep. And then in a lot of my videos, I'm even like, I saw this in Dean's fish room, so I'm going to try this. But I still fully believe in every video I do, I always want to do it in a way that somebody can watch it and say, you know what, I'm not able to put up 10 10-gallon tanks, but I can do 5. That air system would be nice to only run 1 air pump and not 5 air pumps. Maybe I can shrink that. A video I'm going to be working on this weekend, hopefully, is I'm changing my auto water change system again. I'm usually that guy that I have to do it like once or twice. And then I kind of reach that point of like, all right, this is really how I want to do it. So I'm actually going to optimize it. People are going to argue it's not a true auto water change because it's not set on a timer. I manually have to come turn a valve, but I like that because then it forces me to come check all the tanks. But I have all the tanks dialed in right now that I can change, 3/4 of the tank in an hour. I can change 1/4 of the tank in 10 minutes. So I love that aspect, but it's just going to optimize it. And I'm actually going to have, faster warm water, better efficiency at that. Is not worried about that as much. So Kara, again, I really do appreciate that your support there. And then that kind of took me off in tangents, but I'm building. Like we are truly going, and my goal is to always give back in some way, shape, or form. That is 100% my goal. I think I'm saying that right. I appreciate you being here. What's up from New York? Where are you? Let's see. Are you 4 hours ahead of me? 3 hours ahead of me? I've been late in that. I appreciate you being here. I really do. The Zen Ginger, there are plants surviving African cichlids. Wow. Well, that's my entire goal with this tank. So yes, there are. This is an African cichlid tank. I don't want to say yet though, because I need to edit that video still. That was so when I got home from work, that was my entire goal, was to sit down, edit a couple of videos before I came down here for the live stream. And I fell asleep on the couch watching my daughter's cartoons, and I was out, just out. And I woke up, I think like 6, kind of in a panic. And my wife is like, "Aren't you doing a live stream tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, gotta go get dinner and get things going." So I'm looking forward to making this video because I hope it shows some people some options, because I say African cichlid and they are an African cichlid, but it's not the African cichlids that everybody thinks they're going to be. So my goal with this one is, to give you a hint, if you watch or listen to the Aquarius podcast, who is Randy, who's now like the operations manager of Aquarium Co-op. If you listen to his podcast setup, he streams into YouTube and different things. He interviewed Corey again, and those are always my favorite because that's when you get like this super nerd information about Corey. And Randy actually delved into Corey's old breeder award program that Corey used to be a part of when he was really active in the club, kind of before Aquarium Co-op really took off, kind of a thing. So we're talking 7 years ago, I think, but it was Randy started literally like going down the list of fish that Corey has submitted, and this fish popped up. And I was like, you know what? I've never seen that fish in person. So I started doing some research, kind of looking into it, found them on Aquabid, purchased them, and they are an amazing, amazing fish. So you may get the initial kind of release of it depending on when Guppy Guru does his video, and depending on if I can get that video edited and uploaded before his comes out. But I want to show some people that there are options. Like I take risks, we'll call them. Like I've done things that people have said like that's not going to work, and then I just kind of slowly turned around. I'm like, guess what? It worked. Like nothing happened. It worked. It did just fine. One of those was when this bubble filter, the biofilter, came out. Everybody said those things weren't going to work, and now they're fantastic filters. With how many 10-gallon tanks I have, sponge filters are better. I love watching the videos. I appreciate it. I really do. Like I know my content isn't the best, and I watch so many people on YouTube that I know there's people that I'm never going to be able to compete with their production quality. I don't have the skills, the knowledge, but what I like about it is I'm continually learning. But a lot of good mentors in this on the fish basis, on the camera basis, on helping me understand audio and lighting and all these different things. And so I feel like I'm getting better. But if nothing else, I always try and share that super nerd passion. I think it was Lefty. I don't see him in the chat yet, but I think the last time I was geeking out about my Crebensis, and Lefty was like, to be fair, you geek out about everything. It's like, yeah, I do, but it's amazing. Because you're fish. I'm planning a garage fish room build. I've learned a ton, so thank you. That's awesome. And I know, so I actually should be seeing the breeding setup that Because Your Fish has going on. He's about an hour away from me, and we've been talking. So plan on doing a little bit of filming down there. I'm really excited to go see what he has going. And again, like my room is 8x7, so it's not huge. So a garage may be bigger, but why not be able to adapt of like, okay, like, you know what, like his air system works, his racking system works. And then, in one of my latest videos I really enjoyed putting together was the tips for building a fish room with Guppy Guru and wild fish tanks. And that was awesome to get somebody like Ryan involved in that, who was willing to get involved in that video. Because talk about a guy that literally built a fish cave in his garage. Like, you want to talk about a garage fish room, like that's the dude that did it. Guppy Guru did the same thing in his garage, but I know Wild Fish Tanks has recently really expanded what he has going on, and he's documented the entire thing, and it's the coolest thing ever. But as I come down into here, this is still like my place of peace and zen, and I love that I really enjoyed that I'm finding that passion of wild type live bears, but I'm also really enjoying that I have so many different species I can work with. All right, what do we got? Where am I at? I kind of came down to the top. Well, not really topics tonight, just more of like an update of the fish room, and then of course always Q&A. I always love the Q&A from everybody. But one of the big things on my swordtail fry, that tank. So I posted up a quick video on Instagram of me feeding live baby brine shrimp to the swordtail fry, and all the comments like, "That's so much baby brine shrimp. Like, are you sure you're not overfeeding?" And like, no, I purposely overfeed. Overfeeding is kind of that weird of like, what is really overfeeding? So what I like to say is I do heavy feedings. With there being over 100 fry in that tank, I need to make sure that they all get a chance at food because I want the highest success rate. Sure, I've lost some along the way, but then my other thought process is I have an auto water change. I can do, and I do daily, if not every other day, auto water changes. I'm not just necessarily siphoning out all the mold and the detritus on the bottom of the tank, but it allows me to keep the parameters in check and the water quality in check. So I need to do a feeding video because I'm probably going to just like disgust people at how much I actually feed. But I also do it very strategically. I'm not dumping the like handfuls of fish food in. Like, the tank that has my Crebensis, I still don't have fry yet, but I definitely put in a little extra food, what I think they'll eat, because I want the parents to feel like there's always a constant supply of food. So when they have their fry, we're good. Like the German blue rams. My gosh, those rams, they better be breeding in a couple of days because their coloration is on fire right now. Like, there's actually like a purple tone coming out of the rams, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Then things like the guppies, right? There's no fry yet, so I don't feed as heavy. I let them, eat what they're gonna eat, but I try to get 3 feedings in a day. Sharon asks me, did I get rice fish on Aquabid? So yes, Sharon, I did purchase some rice fish from Aquabid. Very excited about them. They're actually in this tank right there. You can't see them yet. That video has been filmed and is uploaded. I think that's Friday's video. I think is what that one is. Fish Room Fever, James in the house. I appreciate you being here. And the $1, that's going to buy me more Coke. Diet Coke. Come on now. James, I appreciate you being here. It's been fun to see. I started to delve more into your content and what you have going on. So I always enjoy it when I find something new, and I get to like catch up, binge watch everything. Really appreciate it. All right, what else is going on in my head? What else was I thinking about? Oh, that's right. So this 20-gallon tank behind me. So the original plan when I first set this fish room up was that was going to be my fry system. I'm going to do my own replicate of what Dean has going on for his fry system. Like it would be, I think it'd actually be really good to raise out the swordtail fry in. And if I had it, I would actually move out the end of the fry that just came in. Like if nothing else, it's just to give them that first maybe week, 2 weeks, get some food in them. So the swordtail fry, they were born on July 8th. It's now 5 days later. Is that July 13th? Roughly 5 days later. They're much more free swimming than they were that first, 36 hours or 24 hours when they were born. So being able to give that fish more easy area to kind of grow up and different things, I'm hoping to kind of incorporate that. And then if I can start cranking out rounds, if I can start cranking out some rice fish, not really rice fish too, but even angelfish, maybe even discus. Like I want to incorporate what Dean has going on there. And I was going to put that on this tank back here, but now that I've decided to put tanks on this back wall, the fry system will move over to this wall. I'm really excited to get that going on because it's not going to be built the exact same as what Dean has, but I'm going to replicate it. Like, again, that's what I was talking about, is I'm taking something that has been shown, something he had the ingenuity to build, and I'm going to modify it slightly to meet my needs, but still following, kind of some of the original patterns that, proved to be very effective. So this tank behind me now, I really think I'm going to do a plant for profit tank. So plants for profit, but I'm not going to do crazy rare, crazy high end. It's going to be plants that I can grow fast, and then plants that I can maybe take to my local fish store, the waterfront. I can offer up on Aquabid. I can offer up to you guys, but it's going to be like, $1 a stem, right? There's nothing crazy, nothing, that I want to be able to grow this. And then I want people to be able to, have success with it in their tank. So let's go back in the chat for a minute, and then I'll continue my ideas on this. So Sharon says, I want some gold. It's I'm going to say lame rice fish, but it's French. What is that? The lemay rice fish. So it's the rice fish. Think of it like a pearl scale. It has a really nice fleckling. Fleckling? I need a word. Flecks? Sparkles? Almost looks like it looks like a fish been hit with like a glitter gun, and they have a really insane sparkle as they swim. Really beautiful fish. I've seen the oranges because I know Dan had them. I think he has the whites. And I know there's a black and silver one, and I have not seen the golds of it. That would be absolutely beautiful. Because you're fish, I do want some platinums and some the red Medaka. So there's the Yama King blood reds or something to keep going up on Aquabid, but I tried to get them the other week, and I backed out when that price got a little more than I wanted to pay for them. But I think I actually have platinums. When Guppy Guru was here doing his tour, so I bought what is called the Pearl Galaxy Medaka from Aquatic Arts, and then my local fish store, the Waterfront, brought in some rice fish for me that were tagged as Snow Whites. And I thought, honestly, they were going to be the same thing. And when they arrived in the store and I looked at them, they looked about the same. Like there weren't, without actually side-by-side comparison, I didn't think anything of it. So after I got into quarantine, I added them in with my my Pearl Galaxies. And then when you actually look the top-down view, there is a very distinct difference, The ones I bought from Aquatic Arts are more of a muted off-white, very pretty fish. But then the ones I got from the Waterfront have that awesome platinum back. So I think I have both, but I'm not really worried if they interbreed because, again, if I can kind of take a Pearl Galaxy but give it a platinum twist, like I don't know. So we'll kind of see what comes out of those. But the gold Medakas is going to be the one that I'm going to be overrun with here as soon as I get some fry going. Fisherman Fever, I'm going to be digging into your channel tonight. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow at work. I'm working overtime, and I'll have some time to dig into the tubes. So I need to go see what you got going on there. Say I've binge watched a lot of your channel, but there's still so many things I got to get back into and rewatch. But there's definitely some things I've been following up on. I don't have any necessarily plans at the moment for a new puffer fish. It depends on if the wife will let me set up another tank outside of the fish room. So I have a small saltwater tank I have plans for that will be outside in the living area. That's where she's actually wants it. Right on this other side of this wall is a perfect spot for like a 40-gallon breeder, a 75, even a 55. I understand wanting all the fish in here. So if I do another puffer fish, it's going to be one that's going to say small. I won't do another Mbuna, of course, right? Unless I win the lottery and become a gajillionaire. Fahaka, I would love another Fahaka, but it's just, again, it's going to be one that's kind of big. But I want to say, is it called the red spot puffer, the red eye puffer? There's a couple. Yeah, I would try something more of. What's your screen? Here we go. I think that's Sharon. Yep. So I would do. Is it the red tail puffers? I know there's like the red eye puffer, but then I want to say the Waterfront brought in. I want to say it was one of these, like the red tail puffer, and it was like hit the store and was sold in a matter of hours. And if I'm correct, they stay much smaller. So something that's a lot more manageable for me, something I can work with. And if I'm correct, like that's something I could keep into like a 40-gallon breeder. It's just not going to be outrageous and insane. I guess the true puffer fish I would really want to keep would be a Shodanai puffer. So if plans came together where I was allowed to set up a 75-gallon tank, elsewhere, and I through kind of YouTube funds after I got some other things taken care of and had the opportunity to purchase one, I would really look at doing a Shodanai puffer. Mainly because they are absolutely, that's because you're fish, the spotted Congo puffer. It's a miniature Mbuna puffer, it literally is, but you don't need a 300-gallon system to keep it. You could do it in a 75-gallon and be just fine with it. You could do it in a 40-gallon breeder most likely and be fine with that too. I'm just not sure yet, but it's something too of like the red tail puffer, right? If that was. IBU saying like they stay small and go in a 20-gallon. Like that's a much easier sell of, can I do a 20-gallon tank to keep this puffer versus, hey, can I set up a 75-gallon tank to keep this puffer? And it's cost too. It's maybe something as I've looked around the fish room too, it's I could maybe sneak another 20 long in here, maybe. So maybe that's something I would do as well of, if I get tired of the swordtails, maybe I kind of move them out and, bring a puffer back in. So not an immediate thing for a puffer fish, but I do really miss having a puffer fish. I do. Way more than I thought I would. But I don't want to do pea puffers again. I've done those. They're cool. But I want something that would kind of be more of that solo species. Maybe there's some like plecos in there and stuff, but I really did enjoy kind of that centerpiece fish. But with just the space I had, that 220, I'm much happier now that 220 gallons out of this room. And the Mbuna puffer is doing fantastic at the Waterfront. Lewis, the owner, he's had some insane cash offers. He's eating really well. He looks so good over there. And, he's definitely with somebody that's going to love him just as much as I did. So we'll see what we got there. Yeah, IBU loved your Fahaka. That's why I got one. It's definitely my favorite fish. I think I like it more than my Mbuna, my own kid sometimes. So my Fahaka was great. And that was honestly like my holy grail fish until I got the opportunity to buy that Mbuna puffer. But Fahaka puffers are fantastic puffers. And it was shortly after the Waterfront opened and I found them, they had a couple baby Fahaka puffers in there. I was like, Lewis, like, don't tempt me, man. Like, that is a fish, because I actually did a video before I got rid of the Mbuna and everything. There was 3 fish I regret getting rid of in my hobby. Only 3. It was the multifasciated shell dweller, which I have again, so I brought them back in the fish room, my Fahaka puffer, and my flower horn. And believe it or not, like, I really do miss my flower horn just because of how interactive that fish was. But I will not do a flower horn again. If I'm going to do another display type tank, it would be for a puffer fish. I think they kind of fit that niche for me more than the flower horn does. And don't get me wrong, flower horns are awesome. I just like that I can add plants in with a puffer fish, and kind of it's a snail disposable kind of a thing. So see where I get to though. I mean, I'm still working on this, right? Like right now, my plan for Friday is to catch up on some sleep, hang out with my wife and kid, and then drill 7 tanks, take this wall down, like everything on this wall down, get those tanks up and running, get the swordtails moved, other 10-gallon tanks running and everything. Everyone needs a piranha. So Fisherman Fever, actually kind of an interesting story on that. When I first got into the hobby almost 5 years ago, my wife was working with a gentleman that's kind of how I got started again. She was working with the gentleman. He had a bunch of fish tanks. He actually gifted me a bunch of fish. One of them wasn't a piranha, but that joke came up and he kind of stops. He's like, I can get you one if you want one. I was like, wait, like what? Like this guy had purchased were they black piranhas, like maybe the red belly, basically off like the dark web, and they got shipped to him in a manila envelope wrapped in a paper towel, and all the fish survived. Talk about a crazy story. So one of those things, like, yeah. But I'll leave the piranhas to the beer ski method. You can keep them. All right. So when I was talking about this 20-gallon back here, is I want to do that plant for profit. And then people saw it. Sharon pointed it out. This beautiful Pogo Stamon Stellatus octopus plant that came from the aquarium co-op. And this thing came in massive. That thing came in so big. It shipped in so well, and it kind of got my head turning. I have some Rotalia Colorado that I got from H2O Aquarium Services, Jared Garner when I did his fish room tour. And then I actually have I got some Weeping Willow moss from him. I just bought some Wassertang from Aquabid, and I have a couple other mosses in the fish room. So I'm thinking of doing a plant for profit tank in this. Very simple setup, but I have a light that I really want to play with, and I think it's going to be a fun alternative for people, but also a really good alternative for people. Is there are some lights on the market that are insanely expensive for what they do, and I found this one, and it's way cheaper and does the same thing. So I want to try that over this tank, and then I am going to, what I'm thinking of doing is kind of dividing it off with some egg crate. So one portion, it's going to be the Pogo Stamon Stellatus octopus. One portion will be the Rotalia Colorado, and one portion I'm thinking of doing the Wassertang, because I think Wassertang is very underrated for what we have. But I'm also just considering doing moss. Is that I know like the Weeping Willow moss, your Java moss, your Christmas moss, stuff like that tends to ship better and I think do better for people. I've had Wassertang melt on me, so I'm back and forth on it. Dan Slee, welcome. Good to see you. I think that's the first time I've seen your name come across one of my live streams, so I appreciate you being here. I really do. But I want to focus on fewer species of plants rather than I have 30 species of plants, and oh my gosh, I'm only selling 2 of them, and now I'm stuck with 28 species. So I'm going to start very simple. I've been talking with Lewis at the waterfront a lot about this, kind of getting his input, his ideas of what sells for him. If I grow these, can I bring them to you? Would it be, grab bag type? Jessica Taylor, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Grab bag type. Would you want them potted? Would you want them like, weights? Like, what's going to be easiest for this? But then as I talked with him, his comment was easy to grow plants sell well. And that's my thought process, is if I can provide a reliable source for him to have the Pogo Stamon Stellatus octopus in his store, and people will take that home and that gets them started on a plant and tank, that makes me happy, right? That's really cool. And that's a very renewable, product that I can continue to bring forth to people. And this is not me at all trying to take business away from anyone. It's nothing like that. If anything else, this is a way I want to support my local fish store with that, like the Rotalia Colorado. It's actually been a really good plant for me because even without extreme high light and out CO2, it's stayed more of a pink color. And people love, different colorations of plants. And then, Java moss and subwasher tang and things like that. Like, people were always after moss. That's why I think I bought 5 things of it from the aquarium co-op the other day, because they actually had it in stock. Pet Exotics Multiple Aquariums, thanks for being here. I think that's the first time I've seen you in my stream too before. Very nice of you to be here. I really do appreciate it. I really do. So I'm very grateful for everyone being here. That's something else we're going to talk about here in a minute, because that's going to be a fun one. But so that's my thought process, is that's going to turn into a plant for profit tank. And then the fry system will come up over here on this wall. But then I think on that plant for profit tank, I'm going to do a CO2 setup. And I hope to do it in a way that's, again, very simple for people. I think CO2 is not necessary for 98% of the tanks out there. But I want to show people there's a much cheaper way to do it. It's just kind of one of those things of like, this is not rated for an aquarium, but it works. So excited to do that video again. It's actually the same setup I used to play with on my old fish room, on my shrimp planting tank. And I was growing Pogo Stamoncellotus octopus literally like 6 inches every week. I had a Fluval 2.0 on a 33-gallon tank, so really short tank, Fluval 2.0, really good substrate, a lot of CO2 going in that thing, and a bunch of fertilizer. And that thing, like the Pogo Stamoncellotus octopus, if I didn't trim it back every couple of days, it would literally spread out to the entire 4-foot length of the tank and just overtake everything. So let's see. Carrie, I have not had any experience with brackish tanks. A good source for that is actually going to be Tozawa tanks with Zenzo. I know he's done a few brackish tanks. I don't like them mainly because I really can't keep plants. But I do know that Zenzo did some experimenting. I think it was a Nubius. He actually mixed up some Easy Green fertilizer in some water into a spray bottle and sprayed them down every couple of days. But he's done some incredible setups of brackish water tanks. I think they're fairly easy to do because you're just using a marine salt and you're mixing up the salinity is lower than what a normal reef tank would be at. And so the water changes are just going to be a little more labor intensive because you're going to have to mix that salt water like 24 hours before and different things. But overall, all the same things apply to fish keeping. Sponge filters working there, hang on the back filters working there. You don't need any fancy equipment, and then you can keep some interesting fish. Like one of the puffers I do want to keep is the fugu puffer, or it's like the orange saddleback puffer. I think's the other name for it. Super cool puffer fish. I just don't want to dedicate like a 90-gallon or 75-gallon to brackish for it. But so I personally do not have experience with brackish tanks, but I know the process of doing one. I just don't have any interest in it. Okie dokie, where are we at? So I have to give a huge thank you to everyone. We are over 1,800 subscribers. We passed the 1,800 subscriber mark the other day. 1,806 subscribers. I cannot thank you enough for that. That is absolutely incredible that we passed that 1,800 subscriber mark. The journey to 1,000, that was a grind. And this has been a grind back up to that. And so 1,000 was awesome, right? That's just kind of that initial milestone of like, we did this. Like, there's people watching me. Like, we're going to make this happen. 2,000, like that was kind of the next big thing in my mind. If I can get to 2,000, that's an incredible number to get to. And then, my next goal after that, the big one's going to be 5,000. But 2,000, like we're literally under 200 away from 2,000. And that is everybody in this chat. That is everybody who's watched my videos. That is everybody who has supported me on this. And I think that the end of the month, I'll have like 200 video uploads. So it's just, it blows me away. It's always humbling to see that subscriber count go up because that means I've done something that somebody has liked. So I cannot thank you all enough for that. And I am planning a giveaway for the 2,000. So here's my thought process is I want to do a live stream, 2000K live stream. I think would be really cool to do. I'm going to try and do it like a 2-hour live stream, maybe like a 3-hour live stream, to something that's going to be very involving, very like, at the half-hour mark, we're going to give away this. At the hour mark, we're going to give away this. I thought about initially doing kind of one big care package. I got the guru in the house really quick. He's out of state right now. I appreciate you popping in, man, and enjoy your family. I'm happy for him. He got to go up to the Oregon, Washington area, and I think for work, but he's seeing some family. So appreciate you popping in, though, for a minute. Man, dude, Peter, you are a good dude. Thank you very much. You did not have to do that, but Guppy Guru coming in with the $20 super chat. Thank you, my friend. You just paid for 2 10-gallon tanks, which I picked up today, by the way. So thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. Cancer Train says 2,000-gallon giveaway for 2,000 followers. It only makes sense. All right, Cancer Train, here's the deal on that. You are going to have to dig the pond with me, and then I'll make you a 2,000-gallon pond. But good to see you. Appreciate it. So, yeah, so I was initially planning on doing kind of one big package that one person was going to get like a bunch of different items from me on a giveaway basis. And I was thinking about it, like I would find more enjoyment from it if I got to do like a 2-hour, 3-hour live stream, and in different portions of that live stream, I'm giving away different items, right? So it's kind of like maybe one of the things is going to be a custom Wel-Don tanks mug, made by my wife. She's already made a couple of them. They're kind of cool. Like, it's homemade, so it's not like hot off the press kind of things. Like, no, there was some actual like love put into this thing. So I thought about doing that, kind of one that I can put away, items that aren't going to cost me an arm and a leg to ship out, but then also I want to give back to people. That's kind of maybe in 5 years, it's one of those things of like, I have the only Wel-Don tanks mug on the planet. I have like a t-shirt that I've made on Teespring, but it's a design that I did not go with. So like I thought about giving away that one, right? Of like, you have the only Wel-Don tanks t-shirt of this design. One of the things I do want to do is offer like a trio of fish. And that's one reason why I'm happy things are breeding in here, is I want to give somebody an option, right? Of let's say I have crebensis in time, like, do you want some crebensis? Do you want some endlers? Do you want some swordtails? Do you want some of my wild type library? So I want to have a kind of a variety of fish that like you can pick from, A, B, C, pick what you want. And then really happy, Adam with Houston Manzanita. We want to talk about a good dude. He was in my last live stream. We were talking about him. The code Wel-Don20 will actually get you 20% off of Houston Manzanita's entire website. So me and Adam were talking after that live stream, and Adam has offered a $50 gift card to his store for that giveaway. So I was very generous of him. So when we hit that 2,000 subscriber mark, Adam's going to generate up a gift card. So I think that was that's where they kind of sparked my idea of, I would rather give something away to 5 different people than just one person. Make it more involved, and that's my way of really giving back. Of just a big thank you to everyone for supporting me where I'm at, what we've been doing with this. So stay tuned for that one. So share it out. We're slowly growing every day. We're talking about getting there. Catcher Train asks, are you in the charity raffle for Dwight Howard's Palindarium from Taint? No, I did not know about that, actually. Don't know where I'd put it. I think it'd be cool. Like I like to see that too. Like, I really like to see that people do charity events for this kind of thing, and that's why I've received so much support. I would like to give back in some way, shape, or form. And maybe it's one of those things too, like, maybe people don't have albino crebensis in their area and don't want to pay for the shipping. Maybe they don't have the swordtails. And so if the swordtails are big enough in time, wouldn't it be cool if, like, if they pick swordtails, like, cool, I have 100 of them. Here's 10. Like, start your own colony. Start this colony in your area. If I can get these African cichlids going behind me, right? Like, here's maybe a fish that hasn't been in the hobby. You can try that. Cancer Train, yeah, feel free. I don't know if it will let you link it. You can definitely attempt to, though. So the pre-seeds go to the Hawaii Fish Rescue. So, yeah, if it'll let you link it, I have no problem with that at all. No problem. So, yeah, guys, but again, just thank you, everybody. Like, we're growing. We're growing to that 2K mark, and I'm so excited to be growing to that 2K mark. It's been awesome. It's been really fun. I'm trying to think what else I got going on in here. So that's kind of one of those things of like, if anybody got questions, drop them in the chat. I'm trying to go for an hour, but I've kind of run through everything that was on my mind. Kind of how my live streams go some nights. I have some nights I come in with an awesome topic, and other nights I'm all over the place. The other Tiffany, even some one-time print-only stickers would be fun. That would be cool. Actually, that would be interesting to do. And I thought about doing that. So I know Guppy Guru gets a really good deal on his stickers. And that's something that I want to start investing my YouTube earnings back into the channel. Instead of like buying tanks, purchase stickers. So if people order fish from me, plants from me, something from me, like I can send out stickers with that. Who doesn't love stickers? Catch Your Train. Let me see if I can find that. Dwight Howard's Paludarium. Do a quick Google search. If I find it, I will link it. I'll have to find it later. Cancer Train. What you can do is after this video processes and actually up on the channel, feel free to leave a comment on the video, and then I can pin it. It's like Fish and Fever just ordered 4,000 more stickers today. So that's right. It's like that's something I want to start offering is a good supply of stickers, a good supply of thing, and I'm thinking like that. But it's also I need the money to do it. That's the hard part is that I don't always have the. I focused on my funds building my fish room, and then eventually I want to work into having merch, right? Like swag to give out, and I would love to do that. So I think it's fun. Like it's always fun when like you order fish from somebody and you get a sticker in the box. Like people love stickers. I officially I think I have all the Houston Manzanita stickers now. Thanks to Adam, he sent me out all the stickers I didn't have. So really looking forward to having all those. And I definitely need to get a sticker board going. I really do. All right, Cancer Train. I think I found it. So that's that should be the link that he is talking about. If anybody wants to go support that, feel free to do so. The other Tiffany, do you quarantine new plants if you don't care about snails? I like snails. I like snails too. Most of my tanks will eventually have snails so that I move things around. But from the big move down, I lost a lot of my snails. I've thought about how you could quarantine plants for snails. Growtox Fish has an excellent instructional video on doing kind of a plant dip, so to say, to get snail eggs off, kill snails, kill that kind of things. But it's just really rough on the plants. It really can be extremely rough on the plants. And Fisher Fever, I'm glad you dropped it in there because I need to go look at that myself now. HC Aqua's in the house. What's going on, my man? I think you've got some guppies we need to talk about, my friend. You got some sweet stuff. But anyways, I'm sorry, Tiffany, back to you. So I just think dipping plants is it's hard on them. Because you're in essence, think of any kind of medication, right? Like when you quarantine fish, you medicate fish, it's basically poison. Like it's just a very, diluted poison that we're putting in to kill off parasites. And that's the same thing with plants. I just don't know. I just don't think the plants can handle it all that well. Like I have never bleach dipped the plant. I think that bleach is known to kill everything. I mean, right now at work, I go through bottles of bleach a week with the whole the virus going on and how much we're cleaning. So for me to dip a plant in bleach, I don't like it. And I do like snails, so I'm okay with it. But I have kicked around an idea of how could you quarantine plants? Fish Pappy, I don't know if I've seen you in the stream before. Thanks for being here. Hello to you as well. But I've thought about, could you set up a plant quarantine tank? Could you set it up in a way maybe you had like a 20 long with pea puffers. So the quarantine of the plants will be a couple weeks. If there's any, eggs, let the eggs hatch out, let the pea puffers eat the snails. So I've thought about that. Like, would there be a natural way to quarantine plants using fish to take care of snails? But then around that, you're going to make sure to have to keep those fish healthy. You have to keep open your water changes on that, kind of whatever you need to do. So I think that's why most people don't, is it is going to be much more labor intensive, quarantining plants with like pea puffers than it would be, dipping plants into a bleach solution and calling it good from there. But a girl talks fish, again, all right, let's go see if I can find it here. Her instructional video on it was really well done, because she did a comparison of, I think, like 3 or 4 different dips, and it was okay. So she compares bleach, alum, and copper. It was very well done, very interesting to watch. So I'm going to drop that link here for you in the chat. And what kind of blew me away too was that I think the alum won out. So if you don't care about snails, why quarantine? So I personally don't quarantine my plants, but there's a lot of people. If you follow forums, Facebook groups, every day there's people asking, what's this snail? How do I get rid of this snail? Like, this snail came in on a plant. What do I do? And it's like, it's just is what it is. Like, to me, snails are part of nature. Snails are very natural to have in aquariums. And it's just, I'm not doing these incredibly beautiful aquascape things where that snail, cruising across the glass is going to ruin the aquascape. I bring him in, and I loved him too. And I had my Mbuna puffer, like, I would feed him to him all day long. So I actually moved out most of my ramshorn snails to my pond, and I could not believe how big some of those have gotten. So so the other Tiffany, I agree with you. If you like snails, nothing, I would not even worry about quarantining. It's just going to be for people that want the planted tank, but they don't want snails, and that's where I say buy the tissue culture plants. But I don't like tissue culture plants. I don't think they never have done well for me. So I think plants that are established in an actual healthy environment for a plant, including snails, is going to do better for me in all of my aquariums. So I agree. I don't quarantine because I don't worry about snails. Like Fish and Fever says, I love free snails. Like, that's the point of it too, is when you order in plants, and if it comes with free snails, like, that's free snails. That's a free cleanup crew in your aquarium that you can really work with there. John Morgan, I appreciate it. Really enjoying the live stream. I hope you are. I hope I'm putting out some content. Tonight's kind of been all over the place. Carrie, the pond is doing well. So I have 7 goldfish in there now. Some really beautiful ones that came from the water. Actually, all of them came from the waterfront, so they all look gorgeous. And then Guppy Guru hooked me up with some massive jungle val. I mean, the roots on these things are huge. And I finally got them down into a planter, and I put that in. So instead of floating, they're actually in the pond now, and they're starting to reach the surface. So I'm really hoping by the end of the pond season, they're going to actually lay over the entire top of the pond, which I think would be absolutely gorgeous. So pond's doing well. The Zen Ginger could use hydrogen peroxide. Not sure about snails though. So I think that would work for a plant dip. It's something I've never experimented with. And part of that is I don't want to. Like, part of it is I have a hard time buying plants, but I guess I grow enough plants now. I guess I could pull out some of this Pogo Stamon, and try some peroxide dips and different dips on it and see what would work best. And I don't know. I think so many people already have problems with the plants melting back. They think they're dying. As soon as you add in things like, copper, alum, bleach, you're just stressing that plant out even more. Now you're going to have a harder time getting that to come around into your aquarium. So I think hydrogen peroxide would work though. Catch a train. I got my aunt the snail catcher from the aquarium coop and spend at least 10 minutes catching snails every time I go over. I actually bought that same one. I have it. I tried it. What I ran into is that most of my ramshorn snails are so big they wouldn't go into it. And then even some like the pond snails or the bladder snails, I've I've had some mutant snails come through my fishery in the past that they should not be as big as they are. I mean, it's like a dog running around your aquarium, but it just shouldn't be that size. All right. We got about 5, maybe 10 minutes left. So again, if you want to make this kind of a last Q&A, if you have anything for me, any ideas for me, recommendations on fish, if you want to take guesses on fish, we can talk, we can chat. I enjoy hanging out with everybody tonight. So I know I'm not the most eccentric and excited like I normally am. Like I said, I fell asleep on the couch before I came down here for this stream. I've been burning the candle at both ends this past week, and it's caught up to me. So, but that's all right. So again, I want to thank. I can't thank everybody enough for the support that we've gotten recently. You know, we have 20 people in this live stream. That's 20 people that are spending their Monday night with me, hanging out, nerding out, talking fish, talking snails night, and to reach that 1,800 subscriber mark, I cannot thank people enough. I got a great part, just a great support from people. Houston Manzanita actually sent me out a gift package today. Corner Co-op sent me out a gift package today, so I'm really excited to dig into those. Growth Talks Fish did a 2-part plant dip. So yeah, I think hers, didn't she mix water with each of them? Let's see. And she actually did this for a month. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what she did. I don't know what she mixed up though. I want to say she did. It was like almond water, but I'm not sure if she combined things. So I'll definitely check out the video though. She did a good job on it. And Irene's videos are actually very informative and very well done to understanding what she's trying to explain. She explains it very well that anybody can understand it. Carrie asked, what new rice fish do I plan on getting? So right now, I don't know if I plan on getting more rice fish. I think it's the video I have planned for Friday. You'll see the newest rice fish I have. If I'm able to get more of those, I want to. Because that will be one I will have to get from Aquabid. I think I've kind of given up on the Red King Yamas right now. Oh, Tiffany, I'm sorry. Did she do a follow-up? I'm not sure if she did a secondary video or not. You'll have to dig into... Yes, okay. I am sorry. Now that I understand what you're asking me, finally got that clicking in the old brain. It looks like she did one a year ago. That was the one I linked. She did bleach, alum, and copper. And then 3 months ago, no, there it is. Yeah, 3 months ago, I will link this one as well. She did salt, hydrogen peroxide, and potassium permanganate. So this is, let me drop this link here. There you go. Okay. Both videos of her should be up. So yes, Tiffany, I'm sorry. She did do. We've got Braden Tervort in the house. So that is the son of one of my great friends from work. He's hanging out here. So that's what I appreciate it, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. And Carrie, I think HC Aqua answered your question the best. I want all the rice fish. I want all the rice fish too. That's not room for them. But it's like most of the fish I've actually been have been getting has been coming out of Hawaii. So HC, you got some great hookups out there. So I think I'm done on the Red Kings for now. I just don't have the funds to keep bidding. Over two. I think so I started bidding on them. I backed out at $100 for 6 fry. And I think they ended up at like almost $200 for 6 fry. So quite intense. There is one out there, though, I've seen come across Aquabid twice, I think. It's like the green lame color, that lane coloration. If I can find like a green coloration or a yellow coloration of that, like, oh yeah, we will be going down the rabbit hole after those ones. I do have... Okay, it's time I think it's time I finally put this out there. I have rice fish coming from China that have been tied up in China since January. I spent a lot of money on these fish. I found them before the virus hit. I ordered them right as the Chinese New Year was starting. and my order is still active. I've been in contact with the company. They're there. They're just waiting for shipments to start again. They're waiting for flights to start again. So I have no idea when I'm going to be getting on anything. And it's like, so HC Aquas actually went and found that auction I was talking about. So $151 for 6 fry. And I think that was the Red King Yama, the blood reds. And like, that's for fry, 6 fry. So one day. But yeah, so I have fish tied up in China, right? Like, we're talking China, like literally China. I paid extra money to have paperwork done for these fish to clear customs faster. It's just, I'm now almost 7 months waiting for these fish. And Raya Watanabe has actually shown these particular fish. And like, I'm stubborn. I bought them. The money's there. The money's spent. I will wait. I will wait for these fish to get in. And I have room for one more of these brute totes. And it is like on reserve for those fish to get here. So it may not be till like next year or whenever this ends. Like, we literally could be over a year from the time I actually order these fish to when I get these fish. And like, you better believe that video is going to be like the coolest videos I'm ever going to make on the aspect of like, yeah, I waited a year for these fish, you know, not for them to like, I know there's people on crazy waiting lists to get fish and all that kind of a thing. Like, this one is literally, I paid lots of money. I put money down on customs paperwork and they got stuck. So we'll see where those come from. So yeah, Carrie, I'm a little nerded out on those rice fish. So I guess that's the plan that I have for the new rice fish. Is it's been 7 months. 7 months I'm waiting on those. Sharon, I'm not sure when they're gonna have. So Sharon's asking about the Waterfront, my local fish store. They are working on a website. Sharon, I actually saw your Hillstream loaches in the shop the other day. I tried to get Lewis to sell them to me, and he was very defensive of them. Of no, those are ordered for Sharon, and Sharon particularly. So he's got you some. I would imagine in the next month, I hope, the way Lewis is talking, he's got plans for it. He's already working around shop hours. I think he's going to start closing one day a week. And, you know, closing the store, but that will be his shipping day, his packing day. He's talked with me about the website. He's talked with me about potentially sponsoring a tank, kind of, you know. So as soon as that website is active and live, you will hear from me, if not already see it live. But you better believe that I'll be doing an announcement absolutely of when the Waterfront has that active and going. Definitely. Let's see, Cancer Train, getting to killifish. So rice fish are actually very similar to killifish. That's actually a lot of times where they are actually kind of grouped together. There's so many killifish that are beautiful. The colorations on killifish are insane. My difficulty of the killifish is so many of them are, I think they're called like annual or seasonal. I have a hard time with that. I have a hard time, but I know that there's that cycle, the life cycle, right? Like the killifish are going to breed, you get the enjoyment out of them, and then, you know, they pass when you have the fry from them. But just on the level I am right now, it's not what I want to do. It just doesn't catch my attention enough. But I want to say, I think it was Rob with Flip Aquatics did a fishing tour. And if you know, somebody's going to know what I'm talking about. It's the drawer organizer, but it's the little drawers for like nuts and bolts, washers, so kind of more of a workshop organizer. And there was the guy was like way into killifish, right? We're talking like 100+ tanks of killifish, and he would get the eggs out of the spawning mops and put them into these little organizers to hatch. And it was genius, because they don't need much water, they don't need all of the fancy filtration when they're first hatching. And it was a genius way to organize them. And then he can, you know, pull that little tray out, take it over to a tank, dump them in, and raise them there. It was really cool. It was a really cool system. Catch Train says, I got my first annual killies, have a few bags of eggs, waiting until the end of August to hatch. And that's the other thing about killifish that does interest me. That's something I've wanted to try, if nothing else, is actually ordering the killifish eggs on Aquabid, and then trying to actually hatch those. I did order some orange Medaka rice fish eggs off Aquabid from a gentleman in Spain. Very good reputation. This is nothing against him, but I had not received them, and I don't think I will be. I talked with him before I made the purchase. We talked, and he even expressed the concern of, like, this is an international shipment. I don't know if they're going to make it to you, but I was willing to take that risk. I was willing to put that on, so I have nothing against him. He's one of the probably the more reputable people on Aquabid. This is just unfortunate that I lost, but I was curious. I was really curious to try and get those eggs in and see if I could hatch them from that shipment, because that's something I've actually thought about potentially doing, is harvesting rice fish eggs and then offering that up to people. Crown Tail Half Moon, thanks for being here. Enjoy seeing you. We got Blake Adams in the house. Glad I caught you live. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Blake. We may be going for like 5-10 minutes. I know we're coming up on kind of 8:10. My daughter usually goes to bed about 8:30, so we'll see. We'll see if somebody else asks me a question that gets me on a tangent here. If you haven't noticed, it's usually what happens is people will ask something or say something, and I go off on a tangent kind of things. But yes, Sharon, I am very excited for that website. Even though I have direct access to him, I want to see Lewis expand. I want to see him succeed, and that's why I've also strategically bringing in some of the species I have. Is I want to work with species that I enjoy working with, but I also want to work with species that he can then have success with in his store. So going back, like the plant for profit tank, I want to do is things like the Pogostemon Stellatus octopus, things like the Rotalia Colorado, and things like moss. Those will always sell. Even if I took in a grab bag of 5-6 stems to his shop, here's 5 of them for this week, sell them for whatever you want. Maybe he buys them for me for $2, then he sells them for $5. That's still a turnover of something. Then the next week, all right, here's 5 more bags of Rotalia. Cool. The Pogostemon's growing fast enough. Here's another 5 bags. And then when the moss takes off, it's okay, here's a couple clumps. Like people are always looking for moss. So if I can set up something to help supply my local area, I'm happy with that. Crown Tail's asking, have anyone used alum for guppy grass and hornwort? So you've actually we were talking about that earlier. So I linked both videos from Girl Talks Fish. I've personally never dipped plants, but I think she did Vallisneria. So it's got to be very similar to the guppy grass. The hornwort, I'm not sure how it would react to that, just with all of that needle size of everything. Braden, I am sorry to hear your 2 goldfish died, man. That's heartbreaking. It's always horrible losing fish. It's never fun. But if you can convince your dad to drive all the way out to Murray. So Braden used to be my neighbor. I work with his dad. We were actually sergeants together, and they're good people, great family. And they got a 55-gallon aquarium, and I helped them set that up when I was still living out by them before we moved to this house. So say, Braden, if you can convince your dad to drive out to the waterfront, you can pick yourself up some awesome new goldfish, and you can tell Lewis that I sent you in there, and he'll take care of you. Maybe I'll have to message your dad tomorrow. We'll talk about it. The other Tiffany, what is your favorite resource for info on growing aquatic plants of various types? There is an old forum. Was it Plant Central? If I find, so my favorite resource is actually, there's a few people in my local club. There's a couple gentlemen in there that have been doing aquariums for longer than I've been alive. And one of them has, rows and rows of planted aquariums. Just filled brim to brim with plants. And some of them are very, beginner species, rare species, various types, floating, planted, all these different things. So I like to talk to them. If you're looking on basics of this, like root feeders and water column feeders, and like things like Amazon sword, right? This can be a very heavy root feeder. Something like the Pogostemon, it's going to get nutrients from the roots, but it's very big. very large water column feeder. Then you get things like the cryptocorns, that's a very big root feeder and a water column feeder kind of. And then you get things like Anubias. So if you're looking to see how plants, various types of like floating to stem to rooted, dig into Aquarium Co-op. He's got a lot of good information on there. And the other one I would highly recommend is going to be Bentley Pasco. I've been digging into his channel more, watching all of his videos on his plant for profit stuff as he breaks down substrates and nutrients and fertilizers and CO2 and the benefits and the do's and the don'ts. And he's interviewed a lot of good people on how to grow that. So they say, if you're a total newbie, I am too. Like, that's the thing, is like we all start somewhere. So I would start with Aquarium Co-op. If you pull up his channel, and then actually in the search bar in his channel, you can type in planted aquariums, growing plants. You can see all the different things he's done, but then get into Bentley Pasco. Bentley Pasco is another master horticulturist, just like Corey is, but Bentley is like, I think Bentley is the plant god. Like, he's right. Bentley is incredible with plants. And what I like, Bentley, his channel is nowhere near where it should be. You want to talk about a guy that should have a couple 100,000 subscribers, it's Bentley. The production isn't the same as Aquarium Co-op, but the information is so good what Bentley gives that he can take something very complex of, this is a very rare plant. I don't recommend this, but let me tell you about this plant that I do recommend. Let me tell you about how to grow this and things like that. So Bentley Pasco just does such a good job at breaking down very specific information into videos. And Corey does a great job of, let me show you this line of really easy to grow plants. Let me show you cryptocorns and Pogostemon Slotus octopus, and let me show you Nubius and Vallisneria and water sprite, and teaches you how to do that. Where Bentley gets into the details of like, use this much substrate for this, use this much substrate for this. This kind of substrate will give you this. This kind of substrate will give you this. If you want an interesting one, Tiffany, go on to Guppy Guru's channel. He did a substrate comparison, and it's pretty interesting to see how that came through. Lefty, there you are. You're usually like the first one in here teasing me. Appreciate you coming in, though. It's always good to see you. I was hanging out on one of Lefty's live streams the other night. Kind of an early morning live stream. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Braden, my favorite fish, to break that down, is going to be the Japanese Madaka rice fish. I have a lot of species of those, and I've really gotten into the nerd side of that. I absolutely do, but I have so many fish in my fishing right now that it's very difficult to say like this is my favorite, but the Japanese Madaka rice fish. Tiffany, congratulations. She says, thank you. And half an hour ago, my first aquarium plant order. Good luck. You are going to love it. Getting plants in the mail is always exciting. Again, Bentley Pasco has actually done a video talking about what to do with new aquarium plants, how to have best success, all these different kind of things. But don't stress yourself out and just enjoy it. You can tell, like, this Pogostemon I've had for a week, maybe almost 2 weeks, and it's still sitting in the pot, and it's already grown up to the top of the water column. So not too concerned about it. Lisa Perez, thanks for coming in. Good evening, everyone. How's it going? Hope all is well and everyone is safe. Appreciate it. Catcher Train says Dustin's fish tanks can be a bit out there, but he's good for intermediate plant knowledge. So I will say Dustin has some incredible knowledge. I actually really enjoy his greenhouse. I really enjoy the saga of that greenhouse. I have a very difficult time swallowing his personality all the time. But with that, yes, Dustin gives some knowledge. And I think the reason why I like Dustin is, again, he's done things that people are like, that's not going to work. And then he turns around and he's like, you sure? Like, watch this, everybody. And I mean, literally one of those moments is like, hold my adult beverage and watch. And he does it. Like, he's got Crinum calystrandum growing, floating. He really talks about like harnessing the power of the sun and all these different things, but he's so, and I'm eccentric. I get excited. I get wild, but anyways. So yes, Dustin is actually another good one. But yeah. Well, Braden, you are here, my man. You are asking questions, and we appreciate you being in the live stream. We are always here to help each other. And this community, this is one reason why I love doing live streams. This community is one of the best. You come in here to these chats, you're going to get some recognition. You've asked some questions, and I always try and answer people's questions and talk with people. So, Braden, you are welcome anytime in these live streams. All righty then. We're getting close to wrapping up here, but hey, you guys are getting me going on these rants and these tangents. I'm surprised my phone's not blown up yet. Sam Life, welcome. Thanks for being here. I don't know if I've seen you either. I try and keep track of who's coming into these. I appreciate it. Thinking a Mbuna tank for the 60 and Endler tank for the 10 or 20. So I previously, if I was going to do I have an African cichlid tank. So let me put it this way. Before I had this tank, if I was going to do a large cichlid tank, I think I'd do a Mbuna tank too. I absolutely love them. They're beautiful. Catch a train. I live about an hour away from him. My local fish store picks up plants from him every now and then. Oh, you must be talking to Dustin. That's cool. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. Yeah, Lefty. Go another hour because I just got here. Whew. Man, I'm tired. I literally fell asleep on my couch before I came down here for this. It's been a week. It has been a week. I'm exhausted. Saturday was a very intense day at work. And I worked about 16 hours on Saturday. I'm still recovering. It caught up to me pretty bad. Lisa, that had some Denison barbs that are guppy killers. Is that normal? So I know Denison barbs are going to be a very you got to look at the shape of them. So Denison, I love them, by the way. So if it's another name for them is going to be the roseline shark or the roseline shark. Beautiful fish, absolutely gorgeous fish. And I've seen some big ones. We got a couple people rolling in now, man. I need to start later. Big Tank Hank, thanks for showing up. Valley Fish, I appreciate you being here. So back to your question, Lisa. So the Denison barb, it's very streamlined. It has that nice slender body, almost like a torpedo shape. So it would not surprise me if they're going to outcompete your guppies for food. And then if I've never kept them with guppies, and I don't know, I would not classify them as an aggressive fish. I would see it more as of like a food aggressive fish. They swim very fast. They're very quick in that water column. Or the guppies, even with a smaller tail, kind of more of a derpy fish, cruising around kind of a thing. So I think that's what you're going to run into is that your Denison barbs are actually out competing your guppies for the food that they need to live. But then again, it could be you have this like murderous fish that saw that guppy and was just like, you know what, you're not staying in my tank, and just rammed him to death. I don't know what happened there, but my first initial thought would be the out competing for food. Yeah. We'll go for a few more minutes, but I apologize. My Tourette's are going to start kicking in even more. I'm tired. Things are catching up to me. Sand Life, would you rather have a ram tank or Mbuna tank? That's my struggle. So I'm a little biased on this one. I would personally have a ram tank. I would personally do rams over Mbunas, mainly because I love planted aquariums, and that's why I'm really happy with these African cichlids. Now, the term planted aquarium, and I talk about this in this video, I'm not the guy of like the fluval stratum, the extreme carpets, the highlight, the high CO2, auto-dosing, fertilizers, growing the rarest and the most expensive plants. I'm the guy of like, give me Crips, give me Pogostemon, give me some Anubias, give me some Jungle Val, and I'm calling it good. So as you can see, like this is a planted tank, but it's not like aquascape planted tank. But I think with the rams, you could do some beautiful, like a manzanita piece. Speaking of which, Houston manzanita, Wel-Don 20% off your entire order. Maybe some like ghostwood, you attach up some moss on that. You put some stem plants in the back. Maybe throw some Crips up front, do some rock work, and now you have this environment that the rams are going to go through the rockwork. They're going to go around the wood. They're going to go through the plants. And then if you get them to breed in that, all of a sudden you're going to see them kind of coming out of the plant work with little babies cruising around. So personally, I've never been big on the hardscape only tanks. I really like plants in the aquariums. That's even like with my multis. I have jungle vallisneria in a terracotta pot planted in that to just add some greenery to it. So Zen Ginger, I appreciate what you've been doing for me there. You've always been keeping up on me and supporting me here lately. So let's do this. I appreciate it. Thank you, Zen Ginger. And Lefty drops the $2 super chat and is laughing evilly at me of I have to keep going. All right, Lefty, I'll give you a few more minutes, but you get to fight my wife. I'm not. Tapping you in, man. Tapping you in for that argument. Just kidding. Braden says, one more question. Is it normal for an algae eater fish to be aggressive? So I actually talked with your dad about this the other day, Braden. So I believe what you have is the common Plecostomus. I do not believe that you have the bristlenose. So if it is the common Plecostomus, yes. The common Plecostomus, they get massive and they get mean. They're very food aggressive. They're very territorial. So I would recommend, if you can, work on rehoming that, then come to my fish room and I'll hook you up with the bristlenose and you'll be much better off. Your bristlenose will not bother any of your fish in there. Sandlife says, new to all of this for plants, I want to get into that after I am comfortable with fish keeping first. And that's fair. Like, everybody starts somewhere. Absolutely everybody starts somewhere. So if that's what you're comfortable with, get that down packed, man. Like, learn your fish, learn your water quality, learn your parameters, but then just don't stress yourself out. You are going to go so far down the rabbit hole on this, and it's the best experience of your life, but you also don't have to be so worried about every opinion you're going to hear. I've told my story of my first fish tank. It was an absolute disaster, but you know what? I learned, and that's the most important part, is learn what you have going on, learn what you want to keep. It sounds like you have a good idea of the Mbunas. So I know Tazawa Tanks does a really good job explaining Mbunas, how to set up a Mbuna tank. I think on some of them, it's kind of like handling the aggression kind of a thing. But then if you can, like, get into plants too. Like, start with something like the Pogo Stamon Slotus Octopus. It's bulletproof. It's literally bulletproof. Something like an Anubias plant. Again, it's bulletproof to me, and it's just a slow grower. So if you want to see something that grows quickly, try something like the Pogo Stamon. Try something like a moss, right? That you can literally glue down to a rock to see if that goes. So there's always places to start, but just don't be. My opinion on that is don't be afraid to try plants. Is if you can find even somebody local, hey, do you have a couple, plant trimmings you can give me that I can try it first? Like most. Again, you're going to see these planted tanks on the tubes and the websites that are just green, wall to wall, and are gorgeous. You don't have to start there. You literally do not have to start there. But again, do what makes you comfortable. And I'm excited to see your progression. I really am excited to see your progression. And Lefty, thank you for dropping my Instagram handle there in on the chat. So yes, I do post a lot of things on Instagram. That's kind of my behind the scenes thing. Then if you really want to say, like this weekend, you're probably going to get overloaded with Instagram because that's when I have time to work on things. So Lefty's asking to Braden if he had a Siamese algae eater or actually get a foxfish. So I'm pretty sure he has the common Plecostomus is what he's got going on there. And Zen Ginger, you got power. Welcome. You can be like Bruce Almighty now and raid the chat, man. I'm losing it, guys. I'm going down fast. Probably tell my eyes are all getting all glossed over. But again, thank you everybody that does support me moderating in these streams. I appreciate it. I really do. Everyone, I've made some good friends through this, and that's what I like. Is I love interaction in person, but I also really enjoy that I have friends that surround me in this hobby that I can honestly come in here and just like we can nerd out together. We can talk fish and have a good time. All right, you guys are keeping this chat going. Like you literally like maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm out. I'm tired. Let's see. The other Tiffany, you make a good point. Some of those lessons are hard to learn. I'm still reeling a bit. You know, when I first started this, I killed a bunch of fish. I wanted to know why. And I have gone through so many lessons of things. And the fact is, too, is like I still make mistakes. Braden, tell your whole family hi for me. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome for being here. Thank you very much. So I'll tell your mom thank you for letting me stay up so late. And I think your dad should be home now, too. So say hello to your dad for me, too. Like, we're always learning lessons. This is part of fish keeping. Like, I put my rainbow shark up into this tank up here. You know, that's the longest living fish I've had. Didn't even think anything about it. He jumped out of the tank. Like, I should have known better. I really should have known better, but it's just kind of what it is. Oh, Sand Life. I apologize then. So I misunderstood your question. So it sounds like you've already got plants going on. That's awesome. So if you've already done plants, merging them, that's not difficult at all. You just got to make sure the fish you're going to keep aren't necessarily going to eat the plants. So something like Mbuna, they do love plant matter in their diet, so they're probably going to chow down on that. I know Zenzo talks a lot about using hornwort in his cichlid tanks because they don't necessarily go after that. But things like rams love planted aquariums. They do great in planted aquariums. The hard part there is you just have to find plants that are going to be able to handle that higher heat. But most of the time, they actually convert really well. Catch a train. I moved, and most of my plants are sitting in a tank with $5 silver. Hopefully, those plants make it. Once upon a time, I actually almost bought an entire school of silver dollars. Those are beautiful fish. Beautiful fish. Braden, you are welcome. I try and live stream like once a week now, kind of where I can fit into it. Adam's Aquaculture is asking, are fox fishes aggressive? Why? I don't know. And I'm losing the brain capacity right now to fully answer that, so I apologize. I know it's the flying fox fish, because there's like the flying fox, the Chinese algae eater, and the Siamese algae eater. I know the Chinese algae eaters is a very descriptive word I can't say. They're terrible. The Siamese algae eaters are very peaceful. I've actually had 4 of them that were like almost 6 inches. They were huge. They were awesome. Didn't bother anything. And then there's a flying fox. I'm not sure. That may be the Siamese, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'd have to do some research on that one to really give you an answer. Because I've actually never kept the actual tagged flying fox before. I've just focused on the Siamese algae eaters and the brucinos. That's what I've had success with. All right, Sharon says, did anyone smash the like button? I appreciate it. All right, Lefty, I got your last statement, and then I'm out. My Mbunas are the exception. I've got Val, Java Fern, and Redroot floaters. They haven't attacked them yet. Well-Don tanks must be those spirulina flakes. Well, I know those spirulina flakes filled me up, and I will say that there are always the exception to the rule. I mean, I kept pea puffers with shrimp, a bed of fish, and some rainbows. And when everybody told me it was going to be a bloodbath, it did great. So, catch a train. I own the red hooks. I love the red hooks. Absolutely love the red hooks. That's what I was going to keep. But all right, everybody, it is 8:30. It's time. It is my daughter's bedtime, and it's my bedtime. I'm tired. I'm quitting. I'm not quitting. I'm out. Gonna go catch some sleep. I will see everybody this weekend for the video. Check the Instagrams. We'll be putting up a lot of pictures. I'm gonna be revamping the auto water chain system again. I'm gonna be adding 7 tanks in the fish room again. We're adding a new rack in the new shelving system in the fish room. We've got new fish coming in this week. Bunch of things going on. So everybody, I appreciate all the support. I cannot thank you all enough. I mean, it's incredible that we are over 1,800 subscribers. And Braden coming in hard with my nickname. I appreciate it, my dude. So if you know who I am, Wel-Don, that is my name. So thank you, everybody. And again, we will talk to you guys on the next one.